Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. We've been covering the Hannah Kobayashi case for, a week or so now, and just trying to figure out where she is, but it seems like we're running out of information. So, with the little information that we do have, it just seems like she's out somewhere on her own free will, even though there's some contradictory information regarding that. So Hannah, she flew from Hawaii to the LAX on November 8th. She arrived at 9:53 p.m. and then at 10:03 p.m. she deboarded the plane. So I'll just put this all out there for people who haven't seen it yet. This is her leaving the plane at 10:03. This is that little hallway that after you exit the plane, you walk up the ramp and then you get into the airport. So she's getting into the airport right here in this picture. Then, I believe it's around 11 p.m., her next flight, she was supposed to get off at the LAX from her plane and then get onto and transfer to another plane to go to New York and land at JFK. But she didn't do that. She never made it to that plane. Now the family believes that she tried to get to the plane. They even said that they saw her running. However, law enforcement believes that she intentionally missed the plane. And here is law enforcement saying they believe she intentionally missed that flight. Now they get things wrong. Like her age, they say 23, where she's 30. I've seen some reports say that she's 31.
Also have a missing person case that has gotten a lot of attention locally and nationally. On Friday, November 8th, 23-year-old Hannah Kobayashi missed her connecting flight from LAX to New York, which the investigation determined was intentional. Over the next few days, she maintained contact with her family and was active on Instagram. However, the family last heard from Hannah on November 11th. After receiving concerning text messages and losing further contact, her family traveled to LA on November 13th and filed a missing person report. On November 15th, our missing persons unit assumed investigative responsibility. Detectives have been diligently reviewing video surveillance and employing various investigative techniques to locate Hannah, while her family has continued their personal search efforts. Tragically, on November 24th, during the search for his daughter, Hannah's father, Ryan Kobayashi, was found deceased.
Yeah, so the death of the father seems kind of bizarre, because you would think that he would, he wouldn't take his life without knowing the disposition of his daughter, Hannah, right? Why not wait and see what happened? Now, there's people that speculate that he somehow encountered Hannah during his search, and something happened, and then that's what led to him taking his life. I don't see any evidence that suggests that, other than that it's weird that he would take his own life without knowing the disposition of his daughter Hannah. The family does not believe the police there. They think she tried to get to that plane. But I would say something that's contradictory to that is that for days, we know that on the 8th she got off at the airport. Perhaps she stayed overnight on the 8th. Then November 9th, she goes out to it's called the Grove. And she was out there from 12 to 3 at a bookstore called Tashin Bookstore. And she was there. Then she goes back to the airport. Now, what was she doing at the airport? Was she making arrangements to have her luggage brought back from New York? So you got to picture how it works. She lands in LAX, but her luggage is just immediately transported and put on the plane she's going to be taking to New York. So her luggage was then, it's just like a rolling, I think it was kind of a purple-ish pink color, was put onto the plane that goes to JFK. And so at this point, she doesn't have any of her luggage. She has a carry-on backpack that she had, and we don't know what's in that, because apparently it didn't have a a change of at least the outward clothing. She seems to be wearing her same sort of flowery sweatpants and a sweatshirt in all of the surveillance footage we see from the 8th until the 11th. So she, on the 9th, apparently she stays overnight again. Then in the morning, she goes back out to the Grove, or it might be not in the morning, but just at some point during the day. And she's seen there at 12 noon at a Christina Ricci signing at Barnes & Noble's. And then there's an event she's seen on video at the Nike store. And here's the video of her at the Nike event. It's very short. You'll see it just in a second here. Right there. See at the bottom of the screen right there? That is Hannah Kobayashi. She seems to be by herself, just even in that short clip. So, the look on her face looks sort of like, she doesn't look joyous, but I mean, you're only looking at a 2-second video. She might have been smiling and laughing right after that, and there could be somebody behind her. We don't know. But that's all there is of that clip. It's too bad that wasn't filmed just a little bit longer. Perhaps the person who filmed this has more of the video, because this looks like it was edited. So maybe it filmed there for a while and she walks by, so perhaps they have a bit more of her walking by at that point. So that's at the Nike event, and that's on the 10th. Then she goes back to LAX again, and she spoke to a ticket agent on the 10th at the airport. Now there's some discrepancy in whether or not she spoke to a ticket agent on the 10th or the 11th, because on a document that was online that you could no longer access, it says that on the 11th at 5 p.m. she's seen speaking to a ticket agent. But there was a sort of a timeline in another document, or a Daily Mail article, not really a document, November 10th at 5 p.m. She spoke to a ticketing agent at LAX. Now, either one is possible, but to me it seems like she was just merely trying to get her luggage. So when her luggage came back to the airport, she's able to get it and move on and do whatever she was going to go do. To me, it makes more sense that she went to the airport on the 11th at 5 p.m. So she, stays overnight somewhere, perhaps at the airport again, and then on the 11th. And then early in the morning, she is texting her aunt, I believe. Let's see, at 2 in the morning, she texts her aunt in New York. She says, "Hi, loves. I just finished a very intense spiritual awakening. I'm changing my phone and heading back to the airport to get to New York City. I might need some help," probably asking for money right there. "It's a long story. I'll keep you posted. I think I still have my hotel room," because she had made reservations to stay in New York for like a week almost. And she thinks she still has a room, but since she hasn't checked in, maybe the hotel did something with those reservations. "Must see Tycho and you. I'm going to see what I can do. Love you. Sorry for the craziness. Was definitely intercepted. Hotel room is still active." I don't know what, when she says was definitely intercepted, if she's replying to something that we're not seeing here. "Hotel room is still active. Feel free to come meet me, but I understand if you can't. I'll keep you posted. Hopefully I can get away there with my reservation issue." Then the Sun reports that Hannah's aunt Laurie said she spoke to Hannah, and that's when we were like, "Hannah, what is going on? Are you okay? What's happening?" Then we spoke on the phone. She sounded paranoid. I said, "Are you with people?" She said, "Yes," but it was vague. I said, "Do you feel safe?" She said, "I think so." She said she was going back to LAX to see if she could reschedule her flight and talk to American Airlines. She said, "I love you." I said, "I love you too." So then Hannah is seen with footage retrieving her purple roller luggage from the downstairs baggage claim at LAX. And here she is, right here, retrieving that luggage on the 11th. And she seems to be looking at a piece of paper or something like that in her hand. She can see the luggage is sort of purple pink here, and this is the backpack right there that she'd always had over her shoulder in other images. And you can see she's still wearing the same clothing. And then Hannah is seen at LAX at 5 p.m. and speaks to an American Airlines ticket agent upstairs. So that matches what she told her aunt she was going to do. Then at 5:48, Hannah texts her roommate at 5:48 and starts talking about how she got hacked. And here are those text messages. Hannah Kobayashi wrote, "I got hacked. Hacked by who? I was stripped of my identity. I can't fly." Well, that would mean you don't have your ID or passport. Wait, what? How did you get to LA from Maui then? Some weird shit, babe. Explain, so I can try to help. I can't go to the police. Doesn't really answer what was being asked of her. Explain it to me so that I can try to be of help to you. I got tricked pretty much into giving away all of my funds for someone I thought I loved. Now, it doesn't say to someone. It means for someone. So maybe she bought something for this loved one, or it was some other thing that she needed to do for the loved one. It turns out he was part of whatever it was that tricked her. And she says, "I've been on the streets." Okay, but is that her choice? Is Hannah trying to get money sent to her? And by the way, this is her after she'd retrieved her luggage. She must have taken her sweatshirt off, and underneath that black sweatshirt was this yellow shirt. It's also possible she got that out of her luggage, but she's still wearing the same pants, and she has a backpack. And this is the last time that any of us have seen her on camera. Now, the family says they've seen her on camera later in downtown LA. So then right here it says, "I just know I need, basically to be in the Redwoods. It's been really scary. Hold on, I'm going to call you. Let me know. Let me see who I can reach out to in the LA area. You have no money? I have a little left. I want to just get a bus or whatever, straight to the Redwoods. I'm going to look for work." And she's already resigning, and this is, by the way, prior to her going to the ticket agent. So what was she doing at the ticket agent? It's pretty interesting. "But I haven't slept well for days. Please keep this to yourself for now." So she doesn't want anybody else to know about what she's doing. So it kind of gives her a head start. "I'm at LAX." So this is 3:58, and remember at 5 she talks to the ticket agent. "Yeah, girl, just stay there for a bit. I might go to a homeless shelter. You should go back to Maui," she's told. "I literally can't, love." "Yes, you can. You shouldn't be spending money to continue traveling. You have a home and you need to go back to it." "Where's your ID?" "I have it, and my passport." "Well, earlier you said you didn't have that." "Go buy a plane ticket to Maui." "It's a really long story, hon. I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. If you have ID, you can buy a ticket. Go to the counter at Hawaiian Airlines." I have stuff of value. So we're missing some context and some text here for some unknown reason. There's something missing. It's all in a short period of time, but there's something missing from this text exchange. "You can go to the police, to the DMV. There are resources. I just need to rest, and I'll think better. Yeah, I'm really confused, but it's very complicated. Did you get catfished? Matrix Underworld shit, girl. This is way beyond me. Did you get catfished by some dude you were talking to on the internet?" "No, we met." So she actually met the person, but it doesn't seem like she's denying the catfishing part, but she actually met the person. "I can't explain all of it. Just please be open with this, please." So Hannah knows she's sort of involved in something that isn't really, sort of embarrassing, I guess. And She doesn't really want to say what it is, but you just sort of be open with it, and she's hoping it'll just all turn out. If you can't explain it, then how can I trust you if you can't tell me the whole story? Now, I don't see any place up above where Hannah said, trust me, so maybe we're missing some more text yet again. I'm talking to a couple people in LA, but I need to know what's going on. Deep hackers wiped my identity, stole all of my funds, and have had me on a mind F since Friday. They can't wipe your identity. Is that what they told you? I'm just really scared, love. And the Redwoods are calling me. And I know I'm meant to be there. I'm being guided there like you have before. I risk my freedom if this goes wrong for me, hon. So after those messages, Hannah leaves the airport. She's seen on camera right here at the international terminal. And then apparently she goes this way. This, by the way, is the hotel her father was in when he took his life by jumping off the building. Then right over here on the 11th at 9:02, she boards an LAX Metro, the C line. And then she makes her way to right here on the, she changes trains to at the Rosa Park station. And if we look at these notes right here, I'll just look at them over on the side here. It says, Pearl Lachanga and an 11-year-old son board the Sea Line at the Hawthorne Lennox station. There's actually an unidentified African-American man who's with Hannah at the time, and that person offers Pearl's son his seat. So he was being a gentleman. They all ride the Sea Line together, having verbal discussions for the next 4 stops, at which the witness reports Hannah was quiet, stated she was from Maui, and appeared tired. All right, and then Hannah and the man were seen getting off the Avalon Metro station at 9:22. So that's right here. They were getting off here, and then they must have got on another train, because Hannah then makes it to downtown here at 10:03, like an hour later. She's right in this location near the Pico, I guess it's Metro Pico Station and Crypto.com Arena. Then she is seen right here on camera at Pico and Hill. And then apparently the next morning, so this is at 10:50 p.m. at Pico and Hill, and then the next morning at 6:50 or 6:30 in the morning, they see Hannah at the Greyhound station right here. There's also a Greyhound stop right there, but I think it's this one right here. However, the family won't answer questions regarding did she get on a bus at the bus stop, and they're still looking for her in the same general area. Now, at the bottom of this text here, it says, I risk my freedom if this goes wrong for me, hun. And the answer to whatever this is right there is the answer in the case as to what has happened to Hannah. I think Hannah is still alive. I could be wrong, but my feeling is she's still alive, and she made a choice to do something that, I originally thought maybe she went up to the Redwood Forest. There is a place called, I think it's also something Grove right up here. Let's see. Richardson Grove State Park that she had been to. And this is probably where some redwoods are as well. There's a bus stop right up here, not too far up the highway. So maybe she went there. There's also the main, Redwood National Forest is right here in extreme northern California. But it's also possible that she joined some sort of a cult of some sort. There's many things that are possible, that somebody was scamming her, tricking her, and they ended up abducting her. Maybe she's been trafficked. The cult idea kind of makes sense when you think about that last statement that she made, where she said, I risk my freedom if this goes wrong for me, hun. So maybe it's a group that she was joining, And then it turns out it's like one of those cults where, it's possible. It's one of those cults where you don't get to have a phone, you give up all of your possessions, etc., and you're just part of it. So that's where that comes into play. And she seems like a person that would be susceptible. She's trying to find herself, always kind of looking for something, going with the flow, etc. So I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but the ex-boyfriend of Hannah was also on her same flight. And when he got off the plane, he made it to the connecting flight to go to New York. Hannah did not make it onto that flight. And then Hannah was going to go to New York as well, and she had different plans. But it sounds like she intended to meet somebody first in L.A., and it seems like it'd be an extreme thing to do, to build a whole itinerary just to fake that you were going to go there. I don't know what date she made the itinerary. Maybe she made that quite a bit earlier, and so that would make sense. But if she made it just before leaving, then it sounds like she did intend to go to New York, but whoever she met in L.A., everything went downhill after that. And then maybe she was convinced to, she said she needed to look for work, maybe. Perhaps she's doing something related to that. We just don't know. So in the comments section, let me know what you guys think about what's going on here. It's confusing because it seems like the family isn't being very open with pieces of information, especially if they don't believe the police are really helping. You'd think you'd want to get out as much information as possible. I've tried reaching out, and unless you're just somebody just totally sucking up and doing everything that they want you to do, they don't seem to want to communicate at all. I just asked a simple question when they mentioned that their daughter or sister Hannah was at the Greyhound bus station. I merely asked, did she get onto a bus at the bus station? And the comment was read and never answered. And I even said, did you get the question? And never answered. And that just seems like a really basic question to answer, don't you think? It doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't, why not say if she got on a bus? Now, maybe you wouldn't want to say where she said she was going because you wouldn't want to tip her off, or the person or people that maybe she was with tip them off. But just knowing that she got on a bus might help people try to think outside of that general area right there. But you're having people look in that area, so maybe that she didn't get on a bus and she stayed in that general area. She was just merely at a bus stop. Okay, so it's an interesting case for sure in terms of the information that we have. But at this point, there's really no new information. There's somebody out there that claims that she was wearing a mask and gray clothing, and she was spotted on like Venice Beach area, I guess, by this V Hotel right in this area. They're claiming she was spotted there. Well, we have no evidence. By the way, how could you tell it was even her at all with a face mask on and gray clothing that doesn't even match anything that we've seen? All right. Maybe there's somebody that says Hannah. There's a person putting a video out there that says that you can hear the word Hannah. And it does sort of sound like the word Hannah in the background. But does that mean that that's her in the video? Hannah is not like a completely uncommon name, is it? All right. Well, anyways, you guys, there you go. That's where we're at in this case. Not much in terms of new information out there, but I just wanted to put it together in a sort of a simple form, not too technical, but just kind of like on the 8th, she lands. She doesn't make the connecting flight to New York. Her boyfriend does, her ex-boyfriend. Then she ends up going and staying overnight there because it's kind of late at night. Then in the morning, she goes over to the Grove, somehow gets there and hangs out there. The Grove, goes to a bookstore, does other things, then goes back to the airport on the 9th, stays overnight again. Then on the 10th, goes back out to the Grove again, then goes back out to the airport, maybe stays overnight near there, who knows. Then she texts her aunt and communicates with her friend and tells her all kinds of stuff that's going on, kind of Matrix style stuff. Sounds like it could be a mental break as well. Then she gets her luggage and she hasn't been seen again. So my opinion is she was waiting for her luggage for those 3 days to come back from New York. And when she got her luggage, she moved on to doing whatever this is. Meaning, if this goes bad, I might lose my freedom. So whatever this is why she waited for her luggage and she went to go do that. All right, so leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think yourselves. And maybe we can start a discussion and come up with something reasonable as to where Hannah Kobayashi might be. All right, well, thank you all very much for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.